What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Kane and Ross Present the Year I Said It podcast. We're expressing with our full capabilities to they might want us in correctional facilities. Brainchild of my child, I am the dad half of this operation, Ross Cooper. As always, I am rocking with the best. My co-host, introduce yourself to the folk.
Yeah, well, what's good, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great week and stuff. And yeah, ain't really too much to say, but you know what to do.
All right, we are back after a little 1 week hiatus. Apologize. Sometimes these things happen. Real life happens. This is not our full time job yet, but with more support, more likes, more shares, more subscribes, we will get there. And heck, we might graduate to Joe Budden level and start doing this thing twice a week. You never know. But we are back. If you can tell, I'm in better spirits. If only because sometimes stepping away and just unplugging from everything helps. This is not to say things are not as heavy as the last time you've seen us. In fact, based on everything that's happened, being black in this country, you can make a really good argument things are heavier, but we're just dealing with it. I can't even say better. I think we're just dealing with it. And it's sad, you know, me and this young man talk all the time, and we talk about how things are going and what it's like being black, being a black man in this country, and seeing all the trauma porn and the things we're going through. So we're just dealing, and sometimes I think it's important for everybody to just unplug. No media, no phone. Only talk to the people that really matter. Do the things you love, and just unplug from all of the things that take your mind in the space that you don't want to be in. So this isn't going to be our usual topics stuff today. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to be a little loose with it. Trust me, there's tons of stuff to talk about, and we will most certainly get back to what we usually do, flashing the light on these pigs and white supremacy and the dirt next week. But this week we just want to have a little fun, make it a little light. I think it's important. So it's just gonna be conversation. We're probably gonna take into what we usually talk about a little bit off air. So I think the first thing to talk about is, man, how are you doing mentally? How are you coping? What do you do to unplug, to reset your mind, man? What do you do?
Uh, Music, uh, games, like I said, talk to people you care about, play with my cat. Um, Not really go outside. I mean, it's not even really because of COVID not going outside. It's just not going outside because one, there ain't nothing to do, and two,
That's because you're in Maryland.
and
Continue.
well, yeah, I'm not in Texas, but I mean, I don't know. You just don't want to. I just don't want to be involved in be any BS because you seeing a whole lot of BS and that's depressing and angering. It's a lot of black rage in me, and
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
I don't think that's safe for me personally to have a whole lot of black rage because then I might do something stupid. But other than that, I don't. I just been, I guess, like how the country wants us at home, doing me basically for the most part. Uh, Stepping out when I need to, of course. But other than that, if it's not essential, just being to myself and people I care about, I guess.
I mean, out of nowhere, I got invited to Vegas. I took an impromptu weekend trip to Vegas. First time ever been there. It's an interesting space. I don't necessarily know that I need to go back, but it was an interesting space. I got to check out because I'm a gym rat. No matter where I go, I try to find a hardcore gym in the area. I went to Houston a couple months back, found a real hardcore gym there. Wherever I go, I try to find a hardcore gym, and I come back to Maryland. We got to hit up Exile. There's another one you might want to check out, Anarchy, and DMV Iron Pro. Hearing real good things about them. So I checked out Dragon's Lair Gym, Flex Lucy Gym out in Vegas. It was dope. The setup is dope. The color scheme, I sent you the pics. The color scheme is amazing. It's all red and blacked out. Even all of the dumbbells have the embroidery of Dragon's Lair. My only issue, quote unquote, the membership price, man. 124 a month. I don't come across many gems. Yeah, like you've been down here and destination is half that. So it's like I'm used to paying, at worst $60 and getting top notch and top quality equipment. So, and where I go with this is that's one of the ways I disconnect is just working out. It's what I do anyway. I do personal train, but working out has always been a disconnect. The problem I was having, and I was telling you this last week after the Floyd for after the Chauvin verdict, and then finding out Ma'Khia Bryant was murdered by the pigs, and it just got to be too much in succession. It was that verdict was Dante Wright, it was Ma'Khia Bryant, and then if we're gonna be honest, it was the justification of her murder by Black people. Shame on all of you. Shame on all of you. I do not recant that. I don't want to hear that bullshit. She had a knife. No, 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 no. As long as these pigs find a way to take heavily armed white killers into custody without so much as a taser shot, I don't want to hear shit about she had a knife. As long as teachers in schools across this country break up fights every day with just themselves, I don't want to hear shit about a knife. But I'm just getting away from where we said we're gonna go. But yeah, working out is definitely one of the ways I cope, and things just got way too heavy for a while. So workout is definitely the way. You mentioned music. All right, so what playlist you listen to right now? What's on your playlist? Well, what playlist are you listening to?
Um, Black Thought, Joyner,
Hey,
um, Kendrick sometimes, Cole. Um,
you gotta send me
yeah,
some more Cole, because I don't have much. I don't have much Cole. Cole is the rare Southern spitter. I don't have much Cole. I gotta get some more Cole.
yeah, Electronica. Of course, that's one of my favorite songs. But
The blinding.
yeah. Um, what else? Slaughterhouse every once in a while. I go back and listen to their mixtapes. Fire mixtapes,
Yeah.
by the way.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't like Slaughterhouse, you don't like lyrics. I can't even really talk to you about hip hop. I can't even really talk to you about hip hop.
Um, that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head.
Or
Um,
my workout playlist. I got multiple playlists. My workout playlist is filthy. Like, yeah, it's I as we've discussed, I keep my grimy hip hop contained to workout purposes because beyond that you got to start asking real questions. So I keep my workout playlist contained, but I got a 50 playlist. I got my joint I call mood music. It's like almost 180 songs on it, and that's like you said, that's Slaughterhouse, some Black Thought. That's some 50. I think I got a couple Snoop joints on there too. It's like Snoop got a couple get you worked up, pump up joints, literally pump on there as
Nas.
well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nah, some J, a little bit of J, a little bit of J.
I'm hearing. Not to get too off topic, but I'm hearing that DJ Khaled is coming out with a new album, but it's going to be a song with Jay and Nas on it together again.
Oh, I'm still mad about that, yo. I'm still mad about that. We got the album we didn't want. We didn't want Watch the Throne. If everyone wants to be honest, no one wanted Watch the Throne.
But
What
we
we
got it.
wanted, what we wanted was the Nas and Jay album.
We
We
still
heard
do.
Black. Well, yeah, yeah, we do. At this point, that which also kind of squashes like, I hate the rap civil war conversation because there really isn't one. Like you don't I know a lot of people stand for the South when it comes to rap, but it's a little bit of a detachment from reality. It's a little bit of a detachment from reality. Once upon a time, like if and just in my humble opinion, if the South hadn't gotten away from what Dungeon Family was doing, and I'm not saying everything needs to sound alike, but if we had to, I'd rather Dungeon Family, Goody Mob, Outkast versus 9 million, these 9 million trap slash mumble rappers that all sound like. And the truth of the matter is, when we talk about who's a dope MC, you know where that standard comes from? Okay,
I
just thought
mean,
I'd
it's just the birth of hip hop, of course. Like if you trash and you from New York, you extra trash. Like,
This is you right. This is, but it happens. Like,
I know it
yo,
happens.
Harlem, I'm sorry, but Cam is just not super dope. Like, and I don't understand it. Cam is that weird thing where he's not super dope, but he's not trash either. Like, I'm sorry, Harlem. I know y'all mad. I'm so sorry. Like, you can actually make an argument Jim Jones is just as dope as Cam because Jim Jones has clearly been putting in work on his pen game.
Oh yeah, I've been listening to him too. Yeah, make no
Jim
issues
Jones,
of it.
woo. I mean, but you listen to Jim Jones because the tracks is like Heatmaker's is bananas. Like, oh my
Hey,
god.
yeah, he make see this is what Benny the Butcher needs to learn from. He needs to hit on heat makers like stat because I haven't heard of whack heat makers big
Ever,
heat ever.
ever. That's something we can talk about real quick, just to. Okay, so we know, at least for me, the Mount Rushmore. Oh, that's another time we're going to touch on, just not today. The Mount Rushmore of producing: Dre, Primo, without a doubt. You got Dre and Primo, the Mount Rushmore, the four greatest producers hip hop has ever known. Dre, Primo for sure.
Swiss
I'll go. I'm not sure. I'll go RZA
or Timberland.
because, and here's the problem: Timbo is that fourth spot is weird to me because to me it's Dre, Primo. Because you said Dre to me is the greatest hip hop producer ever. Because when you look at the body of work, when you look at Straight Outta Compton and NWA's work, then you look at 50's work, then you look at M, and none of these things sound alike. But he's got a way to reach everybody. Like Dre to me is the greatest producer to ever live. My New York bias kicks in, and then Primo, Beyond a Sound of Doubt. That's the soundscape for New York hip hop, really. And honestly, I think you got to be a real appreciator of beats and a product of that environment, and appreciator of beats or come up in that era to understand just how amazing the beat for Come Clean is. Because Come Clean came out, it's Jerry the Damager Come Clean. And that came out like 93, 94. It is a nasty, nasty ass snare. But the thing about it is there's no bass line. And the reason that's like mind blowing is because hip hop is based in bass, from Miami, everything else is bass. And then 93, 94 era, everything had heavy bass. And for him to come out with a beat that's just bananas and no bass at all, just heavy ass snare, calypso. Yeah. So Primo's a close second. Third, I'm gonna go RZA. Um, the Woo is the Woo. And the Woo is not the Woo without RZA, without those RZA beats, those kung fu samples. That RZA just has an ear. Now for the fourth spot, it's interchangeable because it's like a three-way tie between Swiss, Tembo, and Pharrell. You can't go wrong putting either of them in that fourth slot. Timbaland's catalog is amazing. Swiss is the entire Rough Riders and then some, and then Pharrell. Come on, man, grinding a lot of like you check Pharrell's catalog, it's crazy as well. So I don't know who I put in the fourth slot officially. Do you agree with the first three? Do you agree with Dre, Primo, RZA? Do you agree there?
I agree with Dre. I would probably put because I'm younger than you. The three you just named instead of the two you just named. With Timbaland, Swiss, and Pharrell. That would be my
Wow.
four.
Over
My personal
Primo.
four.
Over Primo. Wow. That's New York blasphemy, but okay. um, and then here's my other issue with the fourth slot, and it's probably gonna make a lot of the pop music fans upset. Realistically, the one name for me that will probably go over all three of those, over Primo, I mean sorry, not over Primo, over Swiss, Timbo, and Pharrell, Questlove. If you are familiar with the Roots catalog, sonically you have to understand Questlove borders on genius.
What as a drummer? Yeah.
Not even as remember he does the production too. Like he told the story on his interview on Talib Kweli's podcast. One of my favorite beats, Lil Kim's "Put Your Lighters Up," New York anthem. That actually was his beat. It
I didn't know
just,
that.
yeah, that actually was his beat. But in what happens sometimes in music, it was him. I think he said Scott Storch put that together, and it ended up for Little Kim. And the beat they ended up getting in return or what have you. I forgot the exact story. Go check it out on Tyler's podcast, People's Party. We show love here. Was the beat for Don't Say Nothing. So not bad. Not bad. Because the beat for Don't Say Nothing was dope as hell as well. But again, a lot of people weren't even aware of the Roots' existence until Thought's ridiculous freestyle. And I've been rocking with the Roots since their second album, Philadelphia Half Life. And for them to be their sonic journey is amazing. So I honestly would probably put Questlove. They just don't have the hits of a Pharrell, a Timbo, so on and so forth. But really, if you were into music, yeah, I'd probably go Questlove on my Mount Rushmore producer. So it's Dre, Primo, RZA, Questlove for me.
You got drama too. I mean, it's a lot of great heat makers. I mean, there's a lot of great producers out there. I
Right.
mean, it's hard to pick just four.
Well,
I could,
that was going to be where I was going next. Like, if that's the Mount Rushmore, if that's the quote unquote starting lineup, right? Who's coming? Who's the bench? And to me, right on the bench, 6 man heat makers. Like when you start talking about the cats that make fire beats but don't probably get enough credit, heat makers,
no, I think they get
absolutely.
enough. I think they get enough credit because, like I said, when Dipset was at his prime, that's who they use. Like I still, you got the Dipset anthem, you got Oh Boy, you got all
Jewels,
types of stuff.
yeah, you
Like
got
those
Jewel
beats is
said,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. Oh my god, one of my favorite beats is that joint, Jewel's Dip Santana, Santana song.
Yeah,
That
Santana's
track is
Town. Yeah.
that track is bananas.
I haven't listened to that in a minute. I forgot all about that. I'm gonna have to put that back on the playlist. You just reminded
Man, that track is, you can just rock the instrumental.
me.
That track
Dipset,
is,
Dipset,
and I
Dipset.
think because of how classic he is, I think again coming off the, for me anyway, coming off the production bench, Kanye.
Oh yeah,
I,
how I feel about Kanye?
I think coming off the production, like he's got some tracks that's absolutely bananas as well. Kanye coming off the production bench, can't put him on
Yeah,
the Mount Rushmore. I apologize. I can't.
I
He
think
is
he's close.
responsible. Yeah. Like he's like Jamal Crawford. He's a 6 man that can start. He's Jamal Crawford. So those who don't watch basketball might not get the reference. I understand. But he Jamal Crawford with it. He's a 6 man that can start. He's 6 man a year that can start. He Lou Williams. I mean, Lou Williams. 6 man that can start for sure. So yeah, that's what's on the playlist. I'm still rocking out certain. I'm still, on the metal tip. I'm still rocking out some of the classics. I'm still rocking out to Metallica. I'm still rocking out to Slipknot. I'm still trying to find something that gives that energy. So anybody out there, any metalheads, please, if you know of a band that brings that Metallica Slipknot energy, by
You
all
got Black
means,
Sabbath.
that's be come on now. Come on now. Black Sabbath, you're gonna do that, really? That predates Metallica. Like
I mean, you
that's
said
the
was
that's
that's
the
the
original.
original. Yeah.
That's the original. Ironically, War Pigs is on my rock playlist, on my metal playlist. War Pigs is
Yes.
my joint.
Yeah, I still got Slipknot, Metallica. Um, if I want something calm, I guess I'm an old head, so a single mom, I guess. Listen to Daughtry from time to time. Uh, what else? Uh,
Ah, see, that's a whole different lane. Like some Daughtry, some Seether, some Red Hot Chili Peppers.
some
Yeah,
John Lennon from
that's.
time to time.
I mean, I gotta play Imagine at least once a week just to reset. Like on average, I listen to Imagine at least once a week. Just
I haven't listened to Imagine in a long time. Like, I just listened to his other joint.
well, Instant Karma is on my play
Instant
on my
Karma. There
run.
you go.
Yeah,
Instant Karma.
Instant Karma is on my run playlist,
Yeah, Instant Karma. I listened to that.
and I
I haven't.
always listen to Merry Christmas on Christmas Day. I know cliche as hell, but it's sobering because and I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Everyone's opening gifts and oh, it's Christmas. So this is Christmas. And what have you done? Yeah. So before y'all go getting all giddy opening gifts, let's reflect for a minute. What have you actually done? So yeah, definitely throw some Leonard in there. I gotta listen to Imagine at least once a week because it's one of those weird things where, as anyone who follows the shows knows, my favorite song of all time. And it's one of those things where it either gives you hope or no hope.
It
Like,
pisses. Yeah, listening
like
to
it's
it.
like this is so simple. It is so brilliant and genius, and it makes such perfect sense. And yet we humans can't do it. The
And
answer is right in front of you.
that's why I don't listen to it because it pisses me off. That's probably why I will never probably listen to it again because it pisses me off. Every time
But
you
it,
step outside, you look in the internet, it just pisses you off. It's like, yo, this dude made a song a million years ago that can still apply to this day that we're not following. It pisses me off, man. That's why I don't even want to listen to it. It's just gonna make me mad and depressed.
but I think one of the problems we have is media and media of all sorts, media and social media. I think sometimes we lose track of the fact of that. As something I told you as a kid, always, whenever you need an answer to something, follow the money, right? And you figure that out, then a lot of other things become clear. This is no different. And here's what I mean: we have to be cognizant that media companies, be they left or right leaning, be it CNN or Fox News, there's a dollar to be made from eyeballs. The running joke in the news industry is if it bleeds, it leads. So we have let the media and even social media, from the dumb things people post, lead us to believe that the world is overwhelmingly bad, that people are overwhelmingly bad, and the vast majority are not. If anyone has social media, I implore you to follow a page I love called The Dodo, which is pretty much humans being good humans. And you see how they rescue and save animals that they have no reason to do. Now, if we can elevate that to people, that would be awesome. But follow The Dodo. And I try not to, let my ideals of the world be shaped by what media shows us, because the media will have you thinking black people are violent. The media will have you thinking, go to Mexico, you're going to get your head chopped off by the cartel. Um,
Well,
these
depending on
things
where
are
you're at, I wouldn't go to the heart of like Mexico City by yourself. But yeah, I hear you.
right. But see, these are the things that are painted by media, and people, whether they seem to know it or not, believe it. Us black people, will have you think most black men are trash. I don't believe that to be true. I think we
You
keep
said,
give I consistently say, my thing is, because of what certain things that get posted, I consistently say reason number 105 why black men stay losing. We need to stop being affected by media. We need to stop being affected by trash people like Kevin Samuels. Um, we have to do better. And I think the vast majority, I don't know. That's a question for women. We got to get a woman guest on here at some point, but that's a question for women. Like, I know personally in my circle, quote unquote, cool thing. I'm lucky enough to be connected to a few brothers that I met back freshman year in college. I know a few brothers that I've been cool with literally since seventh grade. I can tell you that just about all of us grew up with no dads. I can also tell you all of us grew up to be dedicated fathers, some of us great husbands, and some of us also leaders in our communities. So it's like there's the narrative of what black men are, but then I can personally look around me and say, nah, that's a good brother, that's a good brother, that's a good brother. Even if I didn't personally know them, I could look at what they're doing in their lives and say, that's an example of a great black man right there. So I'm just curious, and you're a lot younger than I, and in your peer group, you know some good brothers? Really, yo?
no, I'm joking. Yeah, I know a
I
couple.
mean, it's different because you guys are just starting your journey, so to speak, in life.
Yeah,
You're
I
still
know.
getting into things, figuring out what you're gonna do. So it's a little different
I know
being in
some.
your young early 20s versus your 40s.
Hey, but nah, because you're young doesn't mean you can't be a good brother. But I do know some good people. even if I don't talk to them like that, but from afar, they doing their thing, and I'm happy for that. Like
Right.
real talk. Like got another brother doing YouTube with financing and money and stuff. He's doing his thing. He's growing. I'm proud of him. Shout out to Mike, Dollar Mike. Shout out to everybody else out there and in my old crew. But yeah, man, all men are trash. All men are trash. All women aren't trash either. But
Right. Now,
that's
I'm sorry, go ahead.
that's why I try to stay away from social media and media in general. Even though I kind of have to just for the sake of this show, so
Right.
I can't tune out completely like I want to. But
Right.
but I try not to just let all the bad things that media produce or our people produce and do and just group it all to everybody. Like nah, like um, I just real selective of what I look at and how long I look at it. Like, I might just skim
Right.
over some stuff just to see if there's anything worth talking about. But if it's not, and it's usually the same BS, I just get off it and continue with my day.
Right. Because I think one of the things that we need to do collectively as people, especially as Black people, we've got enough. Look at the thing. Look at the thing. We've got enough of that. And I had to really pull back from that too. It's like, see, look at this thing right here. This is messed up. Listen, in order for me to start streamlining my own thoughts, in order for me to start living more purposefully, I had to narrow things down to okay, how does this thing matter? So it's three things, three core values in my life that I try to pay to that I feed energy to. One, if it does not, you know, bring Black men and women together, I don't really try to feed it. I don't need more examples of us being torn apart. Two, if it is not throwing bricks at or tearing down white supremacy and racism, same thing. I don't really need to see more examples of look, this is racist. We know that. We know that. And then three, if it's not helping build people through health and fitness and living a better, healthier lifestyle, I also don't feed it. So it's like I don't need more examples of the thing. Now I need more examples of we like I don't need more things. I need more. Well, what are we gonna do about it? So I'll give you an example. I think we lift a few things from Brother Sean King's page. And Sean King is a very interesting thing because sometimes you watch it to stay informed, but it can be a hard watch sometimes. But the thing about Sean is it's not just look at this thing, look at this racist thing. It's here's this racist thing. We need to mobilize. We need to act. We need to fundraise. Here's the person we need to vote out of office. So it's solution based. Now, I get it. A lot of folk got issues with Brother Sean. I'm gonna let them have those issues. But it's not just here's the thing. And I get a lot of,
Yeah,
I get a
his
lot of
page is depressing. I'm not gonna lie.
it can be depressing. It can be depressing. But it's also a solution to it, and that's what I like. And that brother's literally putting his life on the line because he's rattling cages and pissing off police, and we all know how deadly that can be. you know, you can, that there's that part. But and I get a lot of sometimes I get a lot of stuff from the what I call the super woke crowd. The everything's a conspiracy and this is what's going on. And I'm like, I don't even need that because honestly, there's things right in front of us that we know factually is going on, and we're not doing anything about it. Like I can't sit and entertain the fact that it might be this ingredient in the food and this ingredient in the food might be mind control and that like dog, we just trying to get cops to stop killing us. I can deal with the mind. I'll deal with the secret ingredient in the food later. We're trying to just deal with, yo, can we just stop getting killed by pigs? Like, yo, can we just redistribute the wealth or something
Yo,
like that?
yeah, like redistribute the wealth. Yo, make a new system that's fair to everybody. Yo,
Right. So I can't even dive that deep into the super wokeness of it all. I'm trying to worry about that. But it goes back to going back to where we started. Like, yeah, I think it's important to monitor. People think diet is what you eat, and it's not just that. Your diet is what you eat, it's what you read, it's the energy of the people
Just
you're around.
your spirit, your soul,
It's
your
it's it's
all of that,
yeah, you gotta pay attention to all of that. If you
mentals.
that one right there, and listen, PSA for the black community. And the good news is me saying this is not gonna come off as something new. Go see a therapist. Okay. This is not a knock to your local preacher. It is not a knock to your nana. None of those things. Go see a therapist. Deal with your unresolved trauma. Okay? It is all right. Them old days of going to see a therapist, you crazy. No, no. Go see a therapist. You go get your car checked out every 3 months. No change, don't you? You go see your doctor a couple times a year, don't you? Your mind needs a checkup too. Go see a damn therapist and deal with your traumas. Trust me, you'll feel better.
If you have
Okay.
any. But yeah, I say your mentals is very, very important, as I know and found out later in life. But yeah, if you need to talk to somebody, because I know where everything we just said is hard out here. Like I said, there's a lot of black rage in people. I know it's in
Yeah.
me. I know it's in you. So some just need a way to let it out
Yeah.
in a productive way, and hopefully not do it in a violent or self-destructing way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't pick
You
up the
know,
alcohol, lay off the drugs, all that. I don't really care about weed because weed is weed. So if you need to smoke weed every once in a while, knock yourself out. But yeah, focus on your mentals, your religion. If you're religious, whatever, focus on that along with
mhm.
your physical health, and you well. Hopefully, you'll be good after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gotta, publicly thank you, man, because I called you about a week ago. And I'm always thankful that you and I, as father and son, have the relationship we have. But I called you a few couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "Listen, um, I don't know what to do with this rage right now." And you told me off the ledge, and we had an open conversation because it's like shit got heavy, and I'm like, "What?" I'm at this point where I'm like, I just want to punch the first cop I saw, and I'm like, we talked it out, and I felt a little bit better after the fact because I'm like, normally I'm a very logical thinker, and I'm very aware of myself emotionally. If there is any interesting byproduct, I think, of not having my dad around ever, it was I didn't inherit some of the stereotypical male traits that come along from having a dad that was born in the mid 50s. So I'm very aware of myself emotionally, and I just knew like I'm on edge. Like I gotta find something to do to displace this energy that doesn't involve punching the nearest cop I see. And there are going to be members of this audience that are watching that do not understand what that feels like. But the best way I can describe it is
Saying
it's
anger.
the yeah, it's tattooed on my chest for a reason. But good one, good one. But it's like if there is anyone, any non-black person watching, the best way I can try to describe it is a feeling of helplessness mixed with anger, mixed with years of frustration, with a splash of fear. It is helplessness because I am very much aware if I come into contact with law enforcement, my life is literally in their hands. If they want to kill me, they can. I really wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. Um, it is, anger because how could this not make me upset? And then, of course, I don't have to worry about it just for myself. I have to worry about it for the person on the other end of this, my co-host. I got to worry about that for my son as well. You know, um, it is I forgot the other two things I mentioned, but yeah, the fear of it all is the fear is like, how can I not be scared of this possibility? It makes you literally not want to drive. Like we did this before. The anatomy, if you want to, I forgot which episode, but I think we did it I know we did it last year, and we actually broke down what you go through when cops are behind you. And even if I'm going this way, cops going the other lane, going the other way, how many of us still look inside you to see if they made a U-turn? So if you don't do that, you can't quite relate. And I'm not saying that from a insulting standpoint. What I'm trying to say is this is what we go through as black men, as black people, as black women in this country. And it just all came to a head. And oof, I've not been, I've not felt that ever. I don't want to feel it again, you know. And it's just one of those things where the usual coping methods, I'm learning the box, of course. So hitting the bag and lifting weight, it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working. So yeah, that's kind of why we're having the show we're having now. We're just talking about what we do to cope, how we feel, and let people know, especially black people, it's all right to be upset right now, to be enraged right now. I wonder if you're black and you're not upset and enraged, by all means, tell me what you were doing. Because even if it ain't you, even if you live in the greatest, nicest picket fence neighborhood and you drive a Mercedes and all these white things to keep you insulated. If you can't see what your brothers and sisters are going through and don't feel something, yeah, I got questions.
I mean, maybe you just disconnect completely from your own people. I mean, I don't want to
How?
do that, but I don't want to say I kind of understand, but I get it.
How?
You just want to get apart.
Elaborate. How?
I don't know. Maybe for some people, like you said, it's too much, so you just want to distance yourself from your own people. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I don't do it. I mean, I do distance myself from people, but I'm not like out of tune and like I wouldn't speak up for my people or try to help my people if I had a chance to. But I mean, everybody's different, and like you said, if they're in their own bubble and they're on their white adjacent self, I mean, then they're in their white adjacent self, and they don't have to worry about nothing, even though you kind of do, because you're still black when you drive that Mercedes, and especially if you're in your own neighborhood and you're the only black person on the block, you still got to worry about what you wearing. Can't run outside with a hoodie on, or cops might get called on you or whatever, or you might get killed like some people did. But I don't know. I guess
I
it
just,
just depends on the person. I guess
I
it
I
isn't
mean,
healthy.
again, if you've got it, because the thing that troubles me about the disconnection, because I think you're right. Some black folk do have this ability to, it's one thing to go numb to it. Because I've heard you say, I'm numb to it. And
I
that's
am.
one thing. But it's another thing to just disconnect and like, well, I'm not even going to entertain that. I don't care. Because, bro, it could be you. And I'm not knocking anybody's faith or what have you. And I get the notion of, well, I'll pray. I'm strong in my faith, so this thing ain't gonna happen to me. I get it, and if that's what you're doing, okay, fine. But the ever-present reality is, as long as you are black in America, you could be next. Now, we would be remiss to not notice that money does provide insulation. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not. Money and wealth does provide insulation. LeBron ain't got harassed by the cops, to my knowledge. Neither is Bane the Butcher. Neither is Denzel Washington. So let's be straight. Wealth does provide a certain layer of insulation. Chris Rock used to document every time he got pulled over. And then, of course, they figure, oh, it's Chris Rock. Problem solved. So notoriety, wealth does provide a certain amount of insulation. Don't get me wrong, but
Well, not all the time, because you still got some athletes. I forgot his brother's name, but a couple years ago when he was in the, I think he was in Vegas, and the cops messed with him. I forgot his name. He played for the Seahawks. He was like a D
oh,
lineman.
okay. You,
Like,
I know,
like
I can't remember the name, but yes, you're right. You're right.
so it's
You're right.
not that's not fool's proof. Like it can help if you are if you're LeBron James, you're on the top of being famous, and everyone knows who you are. But
Right.
just because you have money does not matter all the time.
Yeah.
So fame will not save you.
Yeah, it ultimately, yeah, you're right. It ultimately, and the brother, the basketball player, got his leg broke by NYPD. So yeah, you're right. You're right. But I think we can safely say those are outlier cases. That's just really a case of overzealous pigs being overzealous pigs, and I don't give a f who you are, which is retarded. But that's really really ridiculous. But yeah, we'd be remiss to not think that um, wealth doesn't provide some form of insulation, but insulation to the point where you just don't think you no longer relate to, or you don't want to hear, yeah, like, I can't sit in that space because, when the podcast takes off and we're got sponsors and everything else, and we can just podcast for the rest of our lives, we're never going to not relate to where we've come from. We're never going to not relate to whatever tragic case shows up on Sean King's page. So if you have a coping mechanism that does not involve, I guess, heavy escapism, I'm here for it because I don't know, you know, I'm not sure how you disconnect from that. Good news out of the world's greatest city. Care to share, sir?
Um, After 6 months of pilot testing here in NYC, the city just announced that all mental health calls in New York are being removed from the NYPD altogether. So, yeah, yeah, social workers, EMS workers will respond to any mental health calls. So the cops won't go there and hopefully kill somebody. So yeah, we might just save a lot of lives now because they can de-escalate the situation without having guns or a taser involved.
That is huge. And see, for I'm gonna say it again, for Obama's oh yes we can head ass talking that yin yang about how you can't defund the police, you lose people. No, you jackass. This is what is meant by it. We don't need a huge bloated police ass budget. And quite frankly, to take it one step further, without a little more transparency, I don't necessarily think we need the military budget we have. But that's a different discussion for a different show. But this is what we're saying: pigs are law enforcement. If I'm having a mental breakdown and I'm just screaming and yelling and necking on my lawn, what law is being broken? So it calls into question, why are you here? So we need to shift away, say, get rid of 10,000 pigs, but hire 10,000 mental health and social work professionals. So when these mental, because honestly, that's the gap that's one of the gaps in the system. Um, I saw when I worked at Baltimore City Central Booking, there were a few cases where it was people who were mentally ill, and you can't lock them up unless they commit a crime of some sort, but you can't make grown people take medication. And if someone's having a real psychotic break, could they be a danger? Could they be a threat?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. But this is why you have trained mental health professionals there, and not someone with lethal force, unless it is absolutely last resort. You know, in the case of Miss Bryant, and I know I'm gonna go like in Wonderland for a second. What if what if instead of the pig showing up and murdering this young lady, what if they called her teacher? What if they called the teacher? Because as I said, and this is a response I saw from many, 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 many teachers. Teachers throw their bodies on the line every day, depending on where you teach, depending on where you are. If you are not in these these high property value school districts, if you're in the heart of some urban centers, you throw your life on the line. You throw it on the line every day. You break up fights between sometimes students bigger than you. No gun, no knife, no taser. With you know, fairly, I won't say fairly regularly, but when it pops off. So if teachers can de-escalate these situations without weapons, you mean to tell me these fully trained pigs can't do that? But don't worry. I'm sure they'll get more racial sensitivity training. Right, 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 right. Because that's what it is. It's a training thing. Like, wow, why is it the training only works on white guys? Oh, damn. Hmm. Hmm.
Like that's where for every company that has like a racial thing happen. So we're doing sensitivity training, racial training. Did at
Diversity
Starbucks.
training.
Right, did at
Oh
Starbucks.
yeah,
Did
yeah, yeah. Starbucks diversity training.
it do it for the
Like,
cops. I mean, like I want to know
I'm always, you know what? That's
what
what
do
I'm
you
gonna do.
do?
For
What
next week's show, I'm gonna see what I can find as far as what diversity training entails.
yeah,
Because
what is that?
right now it seems like diversity training is okay. Don't actually treat them like the niggers you think they are. That's diversity training.
Like probably sitting there watching Do the Right Thing or something on loop. Like I don't know. like
Oh
like
my goodness.
what does that mean? Diversity what
Because
I still don't know what that means.
if you, the fact of the matter is this: if you are racist, you didn't get that way without help. It probably started in the home, right? So if you are racist, it probably started in the home. You're probably guilty of racial microaggressions for your entire life and don't necessarily realize it. You mean this one 5 day training? If it is 5 days, I don't know. This one 5 day training is gonna undo all of that. Word. You okay? So we're gonna do some homework and figure out what diversity training exactly entails. Like, and it always seems to work on the police when they're, de-escalation tactics only seem to work when police are de-escalating situations with heavily armed white people. Then it seems to work quite well then. But yeah, it's just like I said, we got to find ways to cope. Like you mentioned music, I mentioned music, I work out. You meditate at all?
From time to time, I used to do it a lot, but now I just do some praying or whatever, meditating, same thing.
Yeah, yeah. I try not to use food, because usually most of the time I buy food. If I'm having a moody, just a crap day, my quote unquote drug of choice, and make no mistake about it, food can be used as a drug. My drug of choice is usually potato chips. That's just way too many carbs. That's just way too many carbs. Way too many carbs. Potato chips or ice cream. That's way too many carbs. But yeah, just run it back real quick. I don't think we need an official recap. Just wanted to get back to the folk, touch base. We'll get back on our best bullshit, pissing off white supremacists and pigs alike next week. But just wanted to touch base with the folks. Hold on. Before we go, Mortal Kombat. Um, my rating 3.25 scoops out of 5. The fatal, and the only reason they got that, because he's really going to get a 3. The only reason they got that is because look, they got the fatalities right, a lot of little nods to the actual game, so on and so forth. But God, could the acting be any worse? Like, I didn't expect, the Matrix. I didn't expect Training Day. I didn't expect, that level of acting. But damn, dog, this was noticeably bad. Oh, the acting was
Oh, what?
noticeably
It wasn't
bad.
that bad, but I give it a 3.75. Like I said,
Wow.
I don't watch Mortal Kombat for the acting. I watch Mortal Kombat for the fight scenes and the fatalities and the gore, and they provided that. They had great fatalities, the gore, and the choreography on the fight scenes was excellent.
I'll give you that.
And I think they got the casting right for all the characters. Kano, Sub Zero, Scorpion, Liu Kang, all that, Kung Lao. Like I think they got the actors right for the job. So I don't have a problem with 3.75. Like it was
Oh
fire.
my, that
The
is
fight scenes was
generous.
fire.
The plot was thin. Like it
It's
was.
Mortal Kombat based off a video game. What you expect? This ain't The Last of Us. This, this,
Um,
this ain't
Resident Evil, based
this
off a
ain't
video game. Better acting.
The movies are trash, except the first two. First,
Resident Evil?
no, actually no.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
Resident Evil Apocalypse was good. The first one was kind of trash. The one I think what was after Apocalypse? Extinction.
Probably.
That was okay. And then after that, it just got corny. It was
The
trash.
acting didn't suck. Like
Yeah,
suck.
it was like it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
It wasn't this bad.
It,
Like the dude they got to play Wesker was a great casting job, but he was a little extra
yeah,
corny.
he was alright.
What?
He
The
was
dude that
alright,
got to
dog.
play Wesker? That was perfect.
No, what? People,
Wow. Wow.
but it's cool though. Like I said, I don't know why you.
3.25, man. 3.25. It would have, if not for the fatalities and the gore, it would have got a 3. Like,
Wow, dude.
I did see the trailer for the new Fast and Furious. It is what happens when you watch. Do you get trailers when you watch from HBO streaming or whatever?
I seen the trailer. I don't have to. I go on YouTube. You see
Oh,
trailer.
I'd actually go to the movie theater where it was intended to be watched. But anywho, saw the trailer for the new Fast and Furious. I'm actually interested. I'm shocked. I'm actually interested.
No.
What do you mean? No, dude, the stunts look bananas.
This does look
Like,
unrealistic. Like this does look. No, I stopped caring about Fast and Furious ever since Paul Walker died, so I don't care.
sounds
I'll
like a
wait.
purist to me, sir.
I will wait to see if it was when it comes out for free, and then I'll watch it.
Wow. I might, I'm not, it's not an IMAX for me for sure. It's definitely not IMAX, but it might be worth a ticket. Like I said, the stunts look crazy. And you just, wow. I mean, you understand Fast and Furious is gonna be crazy banana stunts that border on unbelievable. Like there's no it's gonna happen. Like I
No.
I would have preferred another Hobbs and Shaw personally.
You didn't
Give me
even like the
another.
first one like that. So
It
why would
was
you prefer another one?
I'd rather see Rock and Jason Statham kicking ass.
But but the stunts made no sense. They made the Rock like strong as freaking Hulk.
Yeah, him holding the helicopter was a little that was where we like kind of stretched reality a little bit. Like, fam, you can't hold a helicopter. Nice try though, but you can't hold
Like
a helicopter.
super, yeah, the Rock, Captain America. Like what's going on?
Actually, perfect segue. The conclusion of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Well, one of the issues is that was the least watched finale, so that was kind of shocking based on Rotten Tomatoes. I forgot which database did it, but that was the least watched finale. So I don't know how to read into that. I would just can we stop making every black superhero look like the dude from The Incredibles? That was my problem. Like you redid the suit and these goggles, and like you look like Frozo from The Incredibles. Like, come on now.
Oh, they got that out the comics. That's what he looked like.
They could have read. I don't know. And then I'm still adjusting to a black Captain America and the built-in oxymoron that is. Like, really?
It happened in the comics, so it's not like this came out of nowhere and they just made it up.
I mean, I wonder. I've always wondered, like, Captain America was frozen for all of everything. I wonder how the real Captain America, how Steve Rogers would have felt getting thawed out and coming back to this kind of racial inequality. I wonder if Captain America would have had a Black Lives Matter sticker. Because
I
if Steve
mean,
Rogers stands for good, stands for everything wholesome about America, I just wonder, would Steve Rogers be Black Lives Matter?
I don't know. I don't really think about that.
See, you call yourself a comic nerd. Let's talk about it. Let's talk. No, I'm just like, yeah. So I wonder if Steve Rogers will be Black Lives Matter. That's a good question. Hmm.
I personally don't care. But
There
yeah.
you go. Here you go. But all right, folks, we're gonna wrap it here. No grand recap. It was just us kind of wrapping it a little bit back and forth. If you want to touch base, you people, as I said, we will be back on our best bullshit next week. We got some interesting topics, I believe, to touch on: Mount Rushmore, war crimes, America's role. Yeah, we got some shit coming for sure. But just wanted to make sure everybody was doing well. And real life, we skipped the week because real life hit. But just on touch base, make sure our audience, our fans are doing well. We're doing as best we can in spite of everything that's going on. We understand the responsibility we hold to give it to you the way we give it to you. And like I said, but beyond it all, we are still two black men in this country, and that is not the easiest thing to be. um, yeah, so I hope everyone out there is doing as well as they can. And hit the comment section, hit the inbox, like, share, subscribe, obviously. But we are a collective. So if there's anything I can talk to you about to make you feel better, reach out. If anything he can talk to you about, I'm sure it's the same thing. But that's all I got, sir. Your conclusion.
Yeah. Uh, just everybody hope y'all doing good, and your mentals, your spirituality, physical health, all the above. And pets need make sure they're healthy too. You know what I'm saying? They can definitely help because I know with my pet, days get bad, he does something stupid and it makes me laugh. So yeah, stay safe out there, everybody. Stay safe.
Absolutely. So, all things being equal, we will be here same bat time, same bat channel next week. Sign off from Yeah I Said It podcast. Peace.
Yeah.